So, today we're opening a different kind of case file. We're not looking into a crime, but into the mind of the world's greatest detective, and really, the nature of the reality he has to confront. This is an inquiry into what you might call analytical alchemy.
You know that famous line from Sherlock Holmes? It's not just him saying he likes to be busy. It's something much deeper. It's a fundamental need. It points to this relentless, insatiable fire inside him, a drive that some philosophers would call the will to live. And this hunger, it's profound. For Holmes, mental stimulation isn't some luxury. It's a desperate necessity. It's the only thing that saves him from the crushing weight of boredom and the very real abyss of depression that's always waiting to swallow him whole. This isn't just a job for him. It's a constant battle for his own sanity.
Okay, so to really get inside Holmes's head, you first have to get a feel for his world. And it's a world where all the old certainties, all the old maps have just crumbled. The whole philosophical landscape has kind of lost its divine purpose, leaving behind a reality that feels cold, mechanical, and, well, ultimately meaningless.
This slide really captures that massive shift in thinking. On one side, you've got the old view, the world as this mountain of divine purpose, where everything had its place, its meaning. But then, as science started measuring and mapping everything, that sacred mountain was revealed to be just a colossal, indifferent rock. This collapse of meaning, that's the heart of nihilism.
So that leaves us with this huge, existential question, right? When the old maps that told you where to go and what to believe have totally fallen apart, what are you supposed to do? Do you just give in to despair? Or do you grab a chisel and start carving your own path into the stone?
Well, Holmes's answer is pretty clear. He doesn't give up. He picks up his tools. And the first, and maybe most important one, is what our source material calls the lantern of reason, a light to guide him through all that darkness.
You know, the world can feel like a dark, confusing forest, just a random collection of obstacles and events. That's the world as representation. But Holmes's lantern, his logic, lets him light up the details right in front of him. It helps him see the hidden threads connecting everything, the tobacco ash, the scuff on a shoe that the rest of us just walk right past. He sees a web where we just see chaos.
And that, of course, brings us to his legendary method, the science of deduction. For Holmes, it's not just a cool party trick for solving crimes. No way. It's the very act of carving order, of imposing his own map of meaning right onto that big, indifferent rock of reality. His method is this incredibly rigorous process. Okay, so first, he observes, using that lantern of his to light up the tiniest details. Second, he analyzes, weaving those details together into a web of possibilities. Then comes the crucial third step, eliminate. He systematically throws out every single theory that's impossible. Only then, after all that, can he conclude. He literally turns pure chaos into a structured, solvable problem.
So when he says that famous line, it's not just some witty comeback. It's his formula. It's how he creates his own certainty in a world that offers none. He's literally building his own truth, one case at a time, right out of nothing.
Right, so we've covered the how he imposes his own meaning on the world. But that just leads to a way bigger question. Why? What's the engine inside him that's driving this constant, exhausting struggle?
I mean, think about it. Most of us run from trouble, right? We avoid difficulty. But Holmes, he actively seeks out the storm. He wants the most complex, the most dangerous cases. Why on earth would anyone choose to sail directly into the fiercest gales?
Now, this is where we get into the idea of the will to power. But it's super important to get this right. This isn't about dominating other people. That's Moriarty's game. Moriarty uses his massive intellect to control the world around him. For Holmes, the will to power is all internal. It's about self-overcoming. It's the drive to expand his own mind by pushing against a worthy opponent. A difficult case is just the raw material he needs to forge a greater version of himself.
And this whole path of self-overcoming, it's forged in a crucible. His social isolation, his depression, these aren't just weaknesses. They are the fire that melts down his suffering and reforms it into the sharp psychological insight he needs. And honestly, that's why Watson is so vital. Watson is the human anchor, the warmth that keeps the cold, logical machine from detaching completely from humanity.
You know, it's not the hard work that breaks a person. It's the purposelessness. It's the feeling that none of it matters. For Holmes, an idle life is just a slow descent into that futility. So by turning crime into a rigorous scientific pursuit, he creates an anchor, the meaning he desperately needs to survive that void.
But let's be real here. This path he's carved for himself, it is not a happy one. A mind that sees the world with such brutal, unflinching clarity, a heart that searches that deep for answers, it's bound to carry a heavy, heavy weight of sadness. His purpose is profound for sure, but it is also painful.
So after all this, after peeling back all these layers of his logic, his methods, his motivations, what's the real mystery here?
See, the ultimate mystery was never whodunit. It's the question of how any of us can forge meaning in a universe that doesn't seem to offer any. And when you look at it that way, Sherlock Holmes isn't just a detective anymore. He becomes this incredible symbol for all of us, for that deep human struggle and our amazing capacity to create purpose out of chaos.